Hi guys, Full 2 Duel here, and today I've got a friend with me who's going to be deck profiling his Metalfoe Yang Zing for you. So if you'd like to get started, whenever you're ready.
Hi YouTube, Starwolf here. Today I'm going to show you my Metal Zing profile. To start off, we've got 3 Darkness. This is one of my favourite cards in the deck. Simply is, you have 1 Metalfoe and 2 other Yang Zing cards and this in hand, and you can do a huge combo which locks your opponent out for the turn. It ends your board with 4 negations overall, which is pretty tough to come over. All the Yang Zings float, and the tuners also have an additional effect to help get materials out. The Darkness allows you to ditch 2 Yang Zing cards to bring out 2 Yang Zing monsters from your deck.
Okay.
Up next is one of the main targets, Secret of the Yang Zings. He goes well with the Darkness, simply him and him make the Axia. Additionally, when he's Pendulum Summoned Destroyed, you can search out a Zephyr or a Yang Zing card. For now, you just have to go for the Zephyr counter trap, but in the next set, you can get the Yang Zing counter trap, which is just as good.
Yeah, so he doesn't get his effect when he's done off Jatu.
No, but you will be able to Pendulum Summon them, which is what you'll be able to do.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Next, we've got 2 of the Light Tuners. Again, floats. Additionally, he can jump out of the grave when any one of my monsters is destroyed, but he is banished when he leaves the field. Not as good as the Darkness, but he can, unlike most of the other Yang Zings, he can special summon his substitute for in defense or attack, which is a good little thing to go into.
Okay, fair enough. So the others have lockouts as to which position you summon them.
Now we'll start with the Water Yang Zing. You can tell which position they special summon in based on where the 0 is. Being 0 attack, he'll summon in the attack mode. Additionally, any of the non-tuners have the ability to initiate a synchro summon during your opponent's turn, as well as have an additional effect given to the synchro. This will protect you against all traps, which is kind of useful. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop counter traps, which negate the summons.
Okay, so Solemn Warning and stuff still hit it, but...
Oh, yes, but the life point counts will be worth it.
Yeah.
Next, we got a Beta, the Fire Yang Zing. Same as the War, except his effect is that he will summon in defense mode, and he gives a 500 boost to the synchro summoned monster. If you want to give a little something. Plus, with the level 4, it allows you to set up players.
Have you ever had the 500 attack boost be useful for like game breaking or anything like anything for damage? Okay, fair enough.
It's just again the synchros to clear the board.
Yeah.
Next is one of our beat sticks, Shadow of the Yang Zing. As you can tell, he's just a beat stick.
It's a huge effect.
And a big defense. Well, not defense, attack. He's good for when you want to go over monsters. Plus, being level 5, you can just combine him with Darkness to make a level 7, or whatever else you need to do level 6 if you use the light. His effect when he gives to a single summon is that the monster cannot have its control switched.
Okay.
Up next, the Earth Yang Zing. Nice little beater, floats, gives you a monster immunity to being destroyed by battle. My favourite combo of this, combined with the Light Yang Zing to make Herald of Arclight. 600 attack, 1000 defense, but can't be destroyed by battle. And any monster your opponent controls ends up going to the grave, gets banished.
Okay, so everything goes to the grave, gets banished, but it can't be destroyed by battle, so they have to use card effects. That's fair enough.
Its weakness was that it had low stats, but with this it gets over that. It forces your opponent to use something to get rid of it, like we get to Dark Hole.
Fair play.
Next is 2 Yang Zing Path. This can be searched off by the treasure, even when it's Pendulum Summoned or destroyed. Lets you recycle your extra decks Yang Zings, or if you have to put the main deck back in for some reason, shuffle and give you a bit more cycle power. Let you draw 2 afterwards.
The treasure you're talking about was the pendulum that you mentioned before, correct? Yeah.
Last one for the Yang Zings is the Zephyr Divine Strike. This one doesn't sound like a Yang Zing, but it goes with the treasure, which is a Zephyr Yang Zing. When the Zephyr is in the extra deck, this allows you to negate anything. Pretty handy.
Yeah, that's decent. So that's like the Yang Zing side of it, and then you want the Metalfoe.
Next is the Metalfoes. First off, we've got Wolfram, Big Beater, High Scale, and they all have the same effect. Destroy one of your cards to set a Metalfoe spell trap from your deck. Doesn't sound like much, but when you combine it with the Yang Zings being able to replace themselves, you quickly find your Yang Zing path live for an easy +1 for free.
Okay.
Plus being a level 7, it opens up players. Up next, 2 Silvards. You can combine with the Darkness for an easier Synchro 5, or for a Synchro 4, which will be the Herald with the... what's the name again? Yang Zing Light. Again, look, it's mostly for their effect to pop and then search.
Perfect.
Next we've got Goal Driver. Same thing for them. Simple effect. It's either a high skill or low skill.
Okay.
And 2 Stealing. The reason we play Stealing at 2 is because of 0 attack. You won't find that useful. Plus being already a high skill, we have a few high skills in the deck already.
Is the treasure that you mentioned before, is that a high skill as well?
The treasure is a 7.
It's a 7. Okay, that explains. I was going to say, is there a reason as to why you play more more low skills?
Next we've got 2 combinations. During your backseal loops, you'll be able to pop this to never mind. During your backseal loops, you'll be able to pop it to search out a Metalfoe to replace your skill. So if you got 1 skill high or 1 skill low, during your backseal loop, you'll be able to complete your skills. Using your skills, you'll be able to pendulum summon your treasure, which will allow you to search for either Divine Strike or Path if you want to risk it and get bigger plays.
Fair enough.
And it has an additional effect when you do... what was it called again? Metalfoe Fusion is used. If you have this active at the time, you can bring back one of the other Metalfoes for free.
That's nice.
Up next is Metalfoe Counter.
Mm.
You put this down instead of combination when you want to play a bit defensively. If you expect your skills to be destroyed. Because when this is in your graveyard, accept the turn it was sent there, banish it, get one of those skills back from your extra deck. It also lets you special summon a Metalfoe from your deck when that card you have is destroyed, which makes it invaluable to prevent those OTKs.
Okay.
Last Metalfoe card we have is Metalfoe Fusion. It allows you to activate the Metalfoe's effects. It allows you to summon your Metalfoe Fusions, and when it's in the grave, you can return it to the deck, shuffle it, and get a 3+1.
Okay. That's nice. So all those Metalfoe cards that you've just, spells and traps, are searchable by the pendulums, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, very good.
Up next we have the tech cards for the deck. 1 Soul Charge. Being a synchro based deck, you can fill the board with some amazing players. The best board you can do, one of the best boards I've done is pay 5,000 and summon 3 negations on board.
Nice.
2 Solemn cards, Strike and Warning. I'm keeping this at 1 now because I expect the ban list to be out any day now, and I don't want to have 3 of these and then be told, oh god, look, now you're at 1.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough, yeah.
Up next we have a small Clifford engine, Clifford Scout and Monolith. With Scout you can search out Monolith, and with the Metalfoes you can pop them and then refill your skills. And then midway your combos you can pendulum summon them both, go into Nova and then Infinity.
Okay, that's a nice little play there.
And just to get your Wolfram or your Cliffords out, we have 3 Summoners Arch.
Okay.
If you don't run the Clifford engine, it's not worth running them because you've only got 3 live targets, which will help you, which will make you clog quite fast. Plus, there's no real reason to go for the Wolfram that badly.
Mm.
But if you can get your Scout out, you can then search out your 3 Monolith. You can line yourself up for 3 Infinity.
Does that ever become useless? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you don't have a target for the Summoner's Arts?
At that point, the game's so deep in that the winner's already been decided.
Okay.
Because that takes us against the metas where the game is decided by turn 3.
Yeah.
If not, then you're in for a tough game.
Okay, fair play. So, show us your extra deck now.
Now the extra. I've got 2 backshears at the moment. Originally I played 3, but I've run out of space when I put the Clifford engine in.
Mm-hmm.
Backshear is one of the main cards of this deck. Level 8, 1 tuner, but it needs a Yang Zing materials, which makes it a bit hard to summon outside of the other decks. When it's summoned, you can bounce cards on your opponent's side of the field into the deck, up to the number of attributes used, which at minimum is going to be 2 each time. Now you summon 3 of these in your 4 of these in your combo. What is math? 2 of these in your combo, so you're going to bounce 4 cards on your opponent's side of the field and back into that extra main deck.
Okay.
Additionally, it can pop one of your own cards, which will normally be the combination, to get yourself a free search, and then summon the Yang Zing back from the grave. This was originally used in the vanilla Yang Zings to get a 3+1, but with Metalfoes, it does the job just as well. Fortunately, it does have low stats, so you'd either want to combine them 2 into Harbinger later on, or pray that there was a fire involved to make it a bit stronger.
Okay.
Up next, we got a Yazzie. Yazzie is more of a defensive one, despite its appearance compared to Baxia. Yes, it's got more stats, but its effect leaves it to be defensive. It can pop one of your own Yang Zings to destroy one of your opponent's cards, but its 2 of effects is what makes it defensive. It can't be targeted by opponent's card effects, and unlike Baxia, this one floats, which means it'll replace itself when it's destroyed. Up next, God, I can never announce this. Big Bird Yang Zing.
Chow Feng.
Thank you, Adam. This one actually has the highest attack out of all the synchros at 28, but it also has the effect that whenever one of your opponent's monsters is destroyed, you can special summon the Yang Zing from your deck. That and it floats.
Okay.
Somewhat. It'll add a tuner from your deck to your hand, but it doesn't float like the Yazzie does.
So it doesn't special, it searches instead.
Yeah, which is better than nothing. But its main effect is that when it's synchro summoned, and only synchro summoned, and remaining on the field, it'll negate all of your opponent's effects which have the same attribute as its materials. At most, it'll be the light and dark combination.
Mm.
But at most, if you time it right, you can get any of the combinations to lock out all 6 attributes of effects.
Wow. That's good.
Up next, Void Ogre.
Yep.
This needs a Dark Tuner, which is piss easy to do in this deck. You can, whenever you go into Baxia, if they loop Baxia loop, instead of a Baxia, you can go into this. It lets you negate a spell or trap for free, as long as you've got no cards in your hand once per turn. And it's got some good stats as well at 3/3, which is good because not many of the monsters in this deck have a big booty.
How easy do you find it to empty your hand for that to take effect?
Fairly easily. Most of the times you'll search for spells or traps, so you're not searching monsters.
Okay.
And if you do have a monster, you can easily pendulum summon it, or use it, or if you've got a pendulum monster in your hand, have Baxia pop a scale instead of another card.
Okay.
Up next is Crystal Wing. This can be made with a synchro monster and a tuner. Bit hard to summon normally, but in this deck it's easy to make because Yazzie will be able to pop something and then force the Chiwi to come out, allowing you to summon this. Additionally, we have another monster in here which can summon it out, which I'll get into later.
Okay.
Crystal Wing is the powerhouse against any level 5 monster. It'll gain its attack in battle, so it can't be beaten. Especially against the blue eyes, it cannot lose. Additionally, it can stop any effect that activates, even hand traps or monster effects.
Oh, okay.
Making it invaluable.
That's good.
Up next, Ignister. It needs a tuner and a pendulum monster. In this deck, the Metalfoes can act as the pendulum, allowing you to summon this. Because Ignister is using the meta so well and to such a great extent, I figured I'd add it, but it's proven invaluable. It lets me pop one of my skills to shuffle my opponent's monsters into the deck. Bit like a mini Baxia, but not Baxia, when you don't have your Yang Zings.
Okay.
The requirements are a little less severe than Baxia at the moment because of the Metalfoes. But if you can make it, it's worth running.
Okay.
Up next, we have our 2 Metalfoe fusions. The first one is Amanadite. This just requires a Metalfoe and a monster with 25 or less attack. Not high requirements, but it lets you use your Metalfoe fusion to be researched, and Metalfoe fusion will just add itself back to the deck for 3+.
Okay.
Additionally, if the Metalfoe monster was on on the field, it will be put back to the pendulum deck to be used. Then we have Alcohol, which needs 2 Metalfoe monsters, which will be a bit harder to summon. It has double piercing, which makes it invaluable against the decks that are trying to hunker down. Plus, when it's destroyed, it will take out one other card in the field, which, if you imitate your combination, will get you a free search.
That's cool. Do you find yourself using that effect to pop your own cards more or your opponent's cards?
Honestly, I've never used that yet.
You've never used it yet? Okay.
I've only ever used it for double piercing, which ends with game. Up next, we have Herald of Arclight. One of its first effects, which I'll get into now, is completely useless in this deck because it has no rituals in it. But its first effect allows it to negate anything by treating itself, which is really useful. Its second effect acts as Macrocosmos.
So anything gets banished, it's sent to the graveyard.
Correct. Combine this when you summon it with a Earth Yang Zing and put in defense, you cannot get over it unless you use an effect. And if there's anything else on my board which is at risk, he can just tribute himself
and negate
to make himself a hero.
That's nice.
Up next, Trish. The deck can easily pendulum summon monsters out which are low level from 2 to 3, and combined with the tuners, summon a Trish to just destroy the opponent's board. Now, if you make this with a few of the other Yang Zing cards, like the Fire and Earth, you've got yourself a 32k beta that can't be destroyed by well.
That's nice.
Bring it, Blue Eyes. Up next is Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon is a level 6 tuner, which is when sent to the graveyard. After being synchro summoned, it allows you to draw for free. It also lets you ditch a card in order to destroy one of your opponent's monsters on the field. This card, combined with the Silver level 2, allows you, or the Water Yang Zing, allows you to make Crystal Wing a lot easier because it's a tuner.
Okay. Fair play.
Next is proxies, unfortunately, because I haven't got them. This is supposed to be a Harbinger Hope Dragon. My friend is born at the moment, so I'll have to get that back off him.
Yeah.
Basically,
You
it's a
said
3k beta, which requires 2 level 8s. Normally, you can bind your 2 Baxies because they're 2 free. At the end of the turn, it's just a liability. So you can bind it into a Hope Harbinger, which has a bit more of attack range. Plus, it can negate one spell card during your opponent's turn.
and take control of his Xyz material.
The XMC material part isn't too important because it's not going to do much for it. But if you're playing against Monarchs, it keeps that out of their grave so they can't recycle it.
That's good.
The next two are, again, proxies. The Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity. These are, with them being reprinted in the Megatins in about a month's time, I'm going to wait to see if the prices fluctuate for now, because at the prices they're currently at, I don't want to find out it's gone from 15 to 5 by the end of the month and I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
I'll lose out money. Plus, with the ban list still not out, it's worth holding on to see which is meta and which is not.
Yeah.
Because it's likely Infinity might be drop out of the meta.
Okay.
To reduce its price.
Fair enough. So, is there anything else that you could? Is there anything you would change, or anything that you wouldn't? Anything that I'm trying to think about how to put it.
Well, in the Megatins, Painful Decision is getting reprinted, which allows you to send a normal monster to the grave to know that they're search a normal monster
Okay.
of the same name, which is going to be good. I'll be using that to substitute one of the summoners. Wait, what was it called?
Summoner's Art.
Summoner's Art, yes. So it'll be 2 Summoner's Art and 2 Painful Decisions.
Okay.
Because it lets you search out any of the skills as well. And it makes your combination Metalfoe Fusion combo live.
So would you let the deck go increase in numbers of cards, or would you be taking something else out for that second Painful Decision?
Unless I plan on running the upstart, I'll probably let the numbers to float around the 40 margin.
Okay.
It's not one of those decks where it needs to be on low numbers to get the combos. Apologies. Join Team Mystic, you heretic. It's not one of those decks that needs to be in a low numbers to get its combos. It just needs the combos in the deck and it'll search them out themselves.
Okay.
I found that when the deck was in low numbers, it ran out of Metalfoes or it ran out of Yang Zings in long duels. So I like to keep the numbers a bit high but not too low.
Okay, that's great. So thank you guys. This was it Starwolf?
Starwolf.
Yeah, this Starwolf. And we are Fools Who Duel, and we'll see you next time. If you like, comment, and subscribe. If you have questions, we have, obviously there's a comment section. Just put them down below, and I'm pretty sure we can get someone to answer them for you.
Make sure you stick a link under.
Yeah. We'll also be putting a link in the description to Starwolf's channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
Also,